So this is what we're going to do today. I'm going to grab my seed beads. You're going to need 20 bits of pearl beads. You're going to need 2 beading needles. You also need some seed beads, some crimp beads, and then you also need your jump ring. You would need your lobster claw as well. All right, I'm going to set it on the side, and you would need some flat nose pliers. So I'm going to be cutting my beading thread at 45 inches long. For others who would like me to quote in centimeters, that would be around 115 centimeters long is what you're going to be cutting your thread in. So I'm going to thread my needle on both ends of my beading thread. So one needle at each end. Is a bit fiddly, so bear with me if it's taking quite some time. For starters, what I'm going to do is to get 4 of my beads, just so that you can see my work table properly. I'm going to get 4 of my pearl beads onto the needle. So with one needle, I'm going to pick on 4 of these pearl beads. So this is what you would have on your thread. Now what I'm going to do with this last bead is to do what we call the crossing. So I have my first needle going towards this direction. I'm going to bring my other needle to come through the opposite direction of the last pearl bead. So this is what is going to go that way. And that is what we call the crossing effect. I'm going to pull both threads. And this is what you should have for starters as your first step. I'm going to do next as my second step is to pick on 6 seed beads on my right needle and 6 seed beads on my left needle. So I'm going to go ahead and then pick 6 seed beads with my needle. So I have 6. I'm going to send it down to meet the pearl beads. And then I'm going to leave it there, put my needle back into the mat, and then go on and then get 6 more onto my left needle. So that goes onto my left needle. You should have it looking like that. So you should have it looking like this. The next step is to bring both needles together and pick on 1 seed bead. So I'm going to grab my left and my right needles, bring it together, and then pick on just 1 seed bead. It may be difficult to get both needles into a seed bead. So what you can do is to put 1 needle at a time if it's difficult for you to get both needles at a go. All right. But if you can if it's easier for you to get both needles in, just go for it. You should have this. Now what I'm going to do next as our 3rd step from here, actually as our 4th step from here, is to again pick 6 seed beads with my right needle. Send it all the way down. I'll poke my needle back into my beading mat just so that it doesn't get in the way, and get my left needle and pick 6 as well. So this is what you should have. So going forward, we're going to pick a pearl bead. So I'm going to grab a pearl bead here, and I'm going to send my right needle through my pearl bead like that. I'm going to leave it here and then bring my left needle to do a cross on the pearl bead. So it's going to go the opposite direction like that. And then I'm going to pull my threads apart. So this is what you should have as your next step. So what I'm going to do next is to have my needle go through this pearl bead on my right and have the left needle go through this pearl bead on the left, and then we do a crossing here on the top. And what you're going to do next is to send my right beading needle into my pearl bead on the right, leave it here, and send my left beading needle into my pearl bead on the left and leave it here. The next thing is to do a cross on this particular bead. So I'm going to send my right needle through this pearl bead. I'm going to draw it quite onto the thread, but not further down, because I want to do a cross with it before I send it down. And then I'm going to bring my left beading needle to go through the same pearl bead, but the opposite direction. I hope I'm making sense. And then I'm going to draw my threads apart. So this is what you should have going forward. So it's a build up of pattern. So for the next step, again, I'm going to pick on 6 seed beads on the right and then do the same on the left as well. So it's a build up pattern, and then we would have a longer bracelet in the end. This is what you should have. So we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, Skilled Hands everywhere. Media on Facebook, on Instagram. We are here just as you can see us on TikTok. If you've not followed us yet on TikTok, please do so. We're on YouTube with all our tutorial videos. If you'd like to check out our website, that will be www.skilledhandsorganization as one word .org. This is an organization based in the UK, Nottingham to be specific. We've been around for 4 years, like I said earlier, and our aim is to empower women to become financially sound or to earn a passive income on the side. We know that times are really tough, and anytime, everywhere, anybody who is handy tends to benefit from whatever they can make. So these are the things we do. We offer training, free sessions in 5 areas: in soap making, in jewelry making, in millinery, in dressmaking, and in bag making. We've been around for quite some time, like I said, and I believe we are blessing a lot of people as well. So at this point, I'm going to bring both needles together, and then I'll pick on 1 seed bead, and then I'm going to draw it down. So this is what you should have pattern going forward. So we are going to just kind of build onto this pattern. So this is what you should have. I'm going to pull my needles apart again. And then again, I'm going to pick on 6 seed beads on my right needle, poke it down, and then with my left needle, pick 6 again. Okay, send it all the way down. So this is what we should have. Leave it here, bring my left needle to do a cross. And then this is what you should have going forward. So we are getting on to our third lot of 4. So this is our first lot of 4, second lot of 4. We are building on to our third lots of 4. So I've done a cross here. The next thing is to get my bead onto my right needle and just leave my needle here on the right, and get the bead onto the left needle and leave my needle here on the left, and bring another bead, and on this bead we are going to do a crossing. So I'm going to bring my right needle through the pearl bead and bring my left needle to do a crossover like that. So now we have 3 lots of 4 going forward. So we're going to repeat again. Seed bead to get it onto it. Thank you very much, everybody who stayed with me. This is the first time, like I said, we are doing a live video on TikTok, and it's a great experience. Hopefully we'll be able to come back next time. So this is what we should have as we finish off. So I'm going to grab onto my hardware to finish off our bracelet so that we can put it on. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave my needles here and then get my hardware. So I'm first going to bring out my crimp bead, and the crimp bead is what helps us secure our fastenings, or in jewelry making we'll say hardware, jewelry making hardware. So this is our crimp bead. I have a detailed video on YouTube that talks about all the hardwares for jewelry making and exactly what you will use each for. So I'm getting 2 crimp beads. One will go at each side of our bracelet, and then I'll get 2 jump rings as well. So it's called jump ring, as in J-U-M-P, jump ring. And then you'd also need a lobster claw. So I'm sure most of you, if this is the first time you're doing jewelry, you might have seen this closure at a bracelet or your necklace or anything. It's called a lobster claw. So we are going to first of all get our beading needles together and pick on our jam ring. So the jam ring looks very much like a seed bead, but this is metal. So you can have it in silver, you can have it in gold, you can have it in gunmetal, you can have it in bronze, rose gold. So you can have it in whatever metal color you prefer, but preferably it should match your beading set. So my silver obviously will match what I'm doing here. So I got my silver jam ring. So I have both beading needles going through my jam ring. I'm going to set it on the side here. So it looks very much like a bead. So that is my crimp bead. Sorry, I'm going to get my jump ring onto my needle as well. So both needles go onto my jump ring, and I'm going to show you what it looks like over here. So this is what I have. Now I'm going to bring my beading needle back into my crimp bead, just the crimp bead. All right, so both needles are coming back again into my crimp bead. I'm going to draw it, and what I'm going to do next is to grab my flat nose plier to hold on to my jump ring and then pull my thread towards the whole set we've worked on. So this is what you should have in the end, like that. Okay, I'm going to press the crimp bead down with the help of my flat nose plier, just so that we have our pattern secured. So gently do it. You have to be careful as you do it. You could easily snap your thread and mess up your work. You could also easily break a bead and mess up the pattern. So at this point, you have to be very careful as you finish off. So what I'm going to do next is to open up my crimp bead like that, and sorry, to open up my jam ring like that and slide in the end of my lobster claw and then bring it back close in that manner. All right, let's see if we can quickly finish off the other end as well, so that we have a full set bracelet before I bring this live session to a close. So what I'm going to do next is to get one end of my needle into the top bit of my pearl bead here as we finish off at the other end. So I'm going to string it in, pick on 6, leave it there, get my left needle and pick on 6 as well, and then get both needles going into one seed bead. So this is what we should have at the opposite end of our bracelet. I'm going to get a crimp bead onto both needles And then get my jump ring onto both needles. Bring my needles back into my crimp bead like that. I hope you can see it. At this point, I'm rushing off a bit because I need to go, but I want to finish this piece off with you before I finally leave. So yeah, this is what we have. I'm going to crimp onto my crimp bead here, and then I'm going to cut it off. So brilliant. Here we are. We finally come to the end of this tutorial session. This is what you should have as a beautiful piece. I'm going to spread it out for you to see. This could be a beautiful gift for your mom, for your wife, for your sister, for your friend, whoever you want to have this piece. Thank you very much, everybody who's been with us for this while, everybody who's been around watching us. Thank you very much for your likes. Thank you very much for sharing, and thank you very much for your commitment. Until we come your way again, have a lovely day, and bye.